beware of this show, The Returned. There seems to be, I've seen two recent, movie or, motion pictures, via film, movie, whatever you want to call it, that try to provoke the idea of what happens to you after you die. And I can tell you right now that the only thing that dies is your body. Death is separation. You just become separated from your body. The show The Returned asks this question here.
Believe people can rise from the dead. You really believe people can. Say you really believe people can rise from the dead.
And it's demonic. And that's the show Return. And the thing is about it, you will rise from the dead. Jesus rose from the dead, and this is what it is. 1 Corinthians, I can't remember what it was, but in the Bible it says, if the dead be not raised, then Christ is not risen. Satan's going to try to convince you that, by asking questions and subtlety and deception, it's going to, through television shows and people inspired by a being that's not of God, via their thoughts, imaginations expressed through these television shows and movies. They're going to try to convince you through those things that there is no resurrection. And if there's no resurrection, then Christ is not raised. But the fact is, Christ is raised from the dead, risen from the dead. Christ is seated at the right hand of God, and he will judge both the living and the dead. You don't cease to exist after you die. There's even been doctors' reports where they even say that something leaves the body, like the body loses weight after death. There's even been, doctors who have said that. What is it that leaves the body? If you go to a funeral, why is it that they are not there anymore? You're looking at a body, but they're not there anymore. What happened to them? And, just ask yourself, why do I believe that I cease to exist after I die? Why do I believe this and that about what happens after you die? Ask yourself a question. Yeah, literally ask yourself the question. But this show right here is trying to, present deception and all these different things. And it's really absolutely the thing. We have the book, the Word of God. God has given us his Word. And that's what the Bible is, the Word of God. And it is sharp and quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, and piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and so on. But he has given us his Word. Now, the only hope you have, though, is what Jesus Christ did at that cross. And I'll briefly just run you through this again. Jesus Christ lived his entire... You have to be convinced that you have sinned against him. Ask yourself, have you ever lied? Have you ever stolen? Have you ever... and so forth. Ask yourself that question. And the Bible... hold on. If a person robs a convenience store and the security cameras have a vivid picture of the man robbing it, when the man goes to court for that crime, a just judge will execute upon him that which he deserves, a punishment for breaking the law of the land. Justice must be served to that man. God is just. God is just. He cannot let a violation of his law go unpunished. He cannot let the person who has violated his law go unpunished. If he did, he would be unjust. Violating his law one time is enough to be worthy of punishment from God. We all have violated his law more than once. We are inside of a physical body. There will come a time, however, when we will leave our physical body. It is appointed unto men once to die, and after this the judgment. The Bible shows us that a person guilty of sin, the person who is guilty of sin is condemned already. The wrath of God abides upon the person guilty of violating God's law. If a person leaves their body while the wrath of God abides upon him, then that individual will be punished forever and ever in a place where their worm never dies and their fire never shall be quenched. And God is just in doing so. And God became a man, the Word became flesh, and he was born of a virgin, the firstborn son of a virgin named Mary, and so on. And, hold hold on. Jesus Christ lived his entire life without ever committing one sin. This qualified him to be the perfect sacrifice that appeases the wrath of God on his body on a cross, shedding his innocent blood on that cross. A way that God can justly take away the sins of the Jew and the Gentile. Jesus Christ was perfect. Jesus Christ was sinless. God the Father sent the Son into the world to be the propitiation for the sins of the whole world. He made a way that any person has an alternative of being justly punished in a place where their worm does not die and their fire never shall be quenched. The alternative to the just punishment of being forever tormented after death is the just punishment that Jesus Christ endured on the cross. There's only two options, either the wrath of God remaining upon you or the wrath of God on the body of Jesus Christ. Not everyone will spend forever with God after death. It will only be those who with their heart trusted that the work that Jesus Christ finished at that cross was enough to justify them. The word propitiation is that which propitiates. After Jesus died on the cross, he was buried in a tomb. He rose from that tomb 3 days after his death on the cross. He was seen of eyewitnesses. He stayed 40 days and nights. After that, he ascended to the heaven and sat on the right hand of God. Jesus Christ will set his feet back on this earth. Jesus Christ is the judge of the living and the dead. And, are you justified is the thing. And so forth. And that's what I wanted to talk about. So, thank you for watching.